Have you ever wondered why some people earn twice your salary yet constantly feel like they're falling behind financially every month? Meanwhile, someone earning much less sleeps peacefully because money no longer controls every decision they make throughout their daily life. Most people believe wealth is simply the amount of money sitting inside their bank account, but that belief is completely wrong. Real wealth begins long before becoming a millionaire, and almost nobody realizes the exact moment when everything quietly starts changing. Think about your own financial life for just a second before answering this question honestly and without making any excuses. Would you rather earn $1 million while feeling constant stress or earn less while owning complete control over your future? The answer sounds obvious, yet millions of people spend decades chasing income instead of building genuine financial freedom and security. They work harder every year, receive promotions, increase their salaries, yet somehow continue feeling trapped inside the exact same lifestyle. Their income changes, but their financial level never does because they never understand the invisible rules controlling long-term wealth creation. My name is Jeffrey Sachs Invests, and I spend far too much time thinking about how ordinary people build extraordinary financial futures. I constantly study the decisions separating those who struggle forever from those who quietly attract capital and create lasting financial independence. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck or wondering why wealth always seems out of reach, this video is for you. If this video gives you real value, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications before we continue any further together today. Remember this powerful idea because it could completely change how you think about money from this moment forward in your life. The greatest investment you'll ever make isn't in the market, real estate, or cryptocurrency. It's inside your own financial mindset first. Because every dollar you earn will always follow the quality of the financial decisions you repeatedly make throughout your entire lifetime. Today, you're about to discover the 5 hidden levels of wealth that almost nobody explains, even among successful financial educators online. Each level transforms your relationship with money, opportunity, risk, confidence, and the way you see every financial decision ahead. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand today and what must change to reach the next level. Because once you understand the level you're living in, you'll finally stop chasing money and start building real wealth instead. Most people believe wealth begins when you finally earn a 6-figure income, but that's one of the biggest financial myths ever created. The first level of wealth has absolutely nothing to do with luxury cars, expensive vacations, or impressive investment portfolios full of assets. Level 1 is survival, where every paycheck already has a destination before it even reaches your bank account each month. At this level, every unexpected expense feels like an emergency because there is simply no financial margin protecting your future. Imagine driving down a highway with almost no fuel while the next gas station remains completely out of sight ahead. That's exactly how millions of hard-working people live financially, even though they wake up early and work incredibly hard every day. The problem isn't always low income, it's the absence of financial breathing room that slowly drains confidence and long-term motivation. People living at this level often blame themselves, believing they're simply bad with money or incapable of building lasting wealth. But the real issue usually begins with habits, not intelligence, because wealth follows repeated behaviors much more than occasional achievements. The market doesn't reward people who work the hardest. It rewards those who consistently create value while protecting their financial foundation. The first goal isn't investing, buying property, or chasing passive income through complicated strategies promising overnight financial success. The first goal is creating stability so one unexpected event never destroys months or years of financial progress overnight. That means building a small emergency fund before worrying about finding the perfect investment or predicting where markets will move next. It may sound simple, but this single decision changes your entire relationship with fear, uncertainty, and financial decision-making forever. When survival stops controlling your mind, your mental energy finally becomes available for planning instead of constantly reacting to problems. That's when your mindset begins changing from short-term survival into long-term opportunity, and that transformation is more valuable than any paycheck increase. Most people underestimate how powerful this first step really is because it doesn't look exciting from the outside. But every wealthy person, without exception, first escaped survival before reaching the next hidden level that almost nobody recognizes until experiencing it personally. And that next level changes not only your finances, but also the way you think about time, opportunity, and true freedom. Level 2 begins the moment money finally stops controlling every decision you make, even if your income hasn't changed dramatically yet. This is the level where you build financial breathing room, giving yourself the freedom to think beyond next week's expenses and bills. For the first time, an unexpected repair, medical bill, or temporary setback no longer feels like a financial catastrophe waiting to happen. Instead of reacting with panic, you respond with confidence because preparation has quietly replaced fear inside your financial life. Imagine standing on solid ground after spending years trying to balance on a narrow rope above uncertainty every single day. Nothing around you looks dramatically different, yet everything feels completely different because your foundation has finally become stable and reliable. Most people underestimate this stage because it doesn't impress friends, attract attention, or create social media success stories worth sharing. But this quiet stage is exactly where lasting wealth begins taking shape beneath the surface before anyone else can even notice. Your emergency fund isn't just money sitting inside an account. It's confidence stored in financial form for future challenges. Every dollar saved buys something more valuable than material possessions because it purchases time, options, and emotional peace during difficult moments. This is where your mentality slowly shifts from asking, "Can I afford this today?" to asking, "Will this decision help my future?" That single change in thinking separates consumers chasing temporary happiness from builders creating permanent financial security over many years. People stuck in survival spend money trying to escape stress, while people at this level reduce stress before spending anything. The difference sounds small, but repeated thousands of times, it completely changes the direction of an entire financial lifetime. Capital begins flowing toward people who consistently make calm decisions instead of emotional reactions driven by fear or urgency. The market rewards patience because patient people make better investments, negotiate better opportunities, and avoid expensive financial mistakes that destroy progress. You may not feel wealthy yet, but you're building something far more important than visible success or impressive income. You're creating the habits that allow wealth to grow naturally without depending on luck, perfect timing, or extraordinary talent. And once those habits become automatic, you unlock the third level where money finally starts working harder than you ever could. Level 3 is where an incredible shift happens because your income finally stops being your only source of financial progress and security. Instead of depending entirely on your paycheck, your money slowly begins creating opportunities that didn't exist before for your future. This is the level where saving alone is no longer enough because every dollar now receives a specific purpose. Some dollars protect your future, while others begin working quietly to produce even more dollars over time without constant effort. Imagine hiring employees who never sleep, never complain, and continue working every hour without asking for another paycheck. That's exactly what invested capital does when you give it enough time, patience, and consistent attention to compound over decades. Unfortunately, many people never reach this stage because lifestyle inflation quietly steals every raise before investments ever receive a chance. A bigger salary often creates bigger expenses instead of a bigger future, trapping people inside an endless cycle of earning and spending. They believe they're becoming wealthier because their income grows, while their actual financial position barely changes at all. True wealth begins when every increase in income creates additional assets instead of additional monthly obligations that demand constant attention. At this level, you stop asking how much something costs and begin asking what return it produces over many years. That simple question completely transforms your relationship with spending, investing, business opportunities, and long-term financial decision-making. Every investment becomes another worker inside your financial system, helping attract more capital while requiring less effort from you personally. The market rewards disciplined investors because consistency almost always outperforms emotional decisions driven by fear or temporary excitement. This isn't about predicting the perfect investment or timing every market movement with impossible precision and confidence. It's about building a system where your financial future becomes stronger every single month, regardless of temporary economic uncertainty. Your capital starts creating momentum, and momentum becomes one of the most powerful forces in personal finance and wealth creation. Most people spend their entire lives working for money, but very few ever experience money working faithfully for them instead. And once your capital begins generating meaningful results, you enter a completely different level where freedom becomes the ultimate financial asset. Level 4 is where money gives you something far more valuable than luxury, status, or expensive possessions that impress other people. It gives you choices, and choices are the true currency of financial freedom that very few people ever fully experience. At this level, work becomes an option instead of a necessity because your assets begin covering an increasing part of your lifestyle. You no longer wake up asking how to survive this month because your financial foundation keeps supporting you every single day. Imagine planting hundreds of trees years ago and finally enjoying the shade without planting another one every afternoon. That's exactly what disciplined investing looks like after years of patience, consistency, and allowing compound growth to do its work. Most people think wealthy individuals have unlimited money, but that's rarely what separates them from everyone else financially. What separates them is having enough capital to control their own time instead of constantly selling it for income. Time becomes your greatest asset because you finally decide where your energy, attention, and creativity should be invested each day. This level isn't about quitting your career or avoiding work because meaningful work still creates purpose and personal fulfillment. The difference is simple but incredibly powerful because now you choose your work instead of depending entirely upon it. You can reject opportunities that don't match your values because financial pressure no longer forces desperate decisions every single time. This is where capital begins protecting your lifestyle while your knowledge continues attracting even greater opportunities for future growth. Your network improves because confident people naturally build stronger relationships and recognize opportunities others completely overlook every day. The market rewards people who think decades ahead because long-term thinking creates advantages impossible to achieve through short-term reactions. Every financial decision becomes calmer because fear slowly disappears once survival no longer controls your everyday mindset and behavior. Many people dream about becoming rich, but very few realize they're actually searching for this level of personal freedom. Because freedom isn't measured by what you can buy, but by what you no longer have to worry about. And once freedom becomes your foundation, you reach the final level where wealth extends far beyond money and transforms your legacy forever. Level 5 is the level almost everyone imagines when they think about wealth, yet very few people truly understand what it means. Most believe this level is defined by millions of dollars, private jets, or homes that seem impossible for ordinary families to own. But real wealth has never been measured by possessions because possessions can disappear much faster than people usually expect.
The highest level of wealth is reached when your money continues creating opportunities long after you're no longer working for it. Imagine planting a forest instead of a single tree, knowing future generations will enjoy benefits you may never personally witness. That's exactly what lasting wealth accomplishes because true capital survives beyond one career, one lifetime, and even one generation. At this stage, every financial decision carries a purpose greater than personal comfort or temporary material satisfaction. Your focus shifts from accumulating money toward creating systems that continue producing value for countless people over many decades. Capital becomes a tool for building businesses, supporting communities, funding innovation, and opening opportunities for others to succeed. The market rewards people who create lasting value because value continues multiplying long after the original effort has ended. Your reputation becomes one of your greatest financial assets because trust attracts opportunities that money alone can never purchase. This is where capital social becomes just as powerful as financial capital because relationships begin creating exponential possibilities. People seek your advice, your partnerships, and your perspective because your mindset now creates confidence instead of uncertainty. Ironically, the people reaching this level rarely spend their time trying to appear wealthy in front of everyone else. Their attention remains focused on impact, legacy, and building something meaningful that continues growing without constant supervision. Money is no longer the destination because it has become a resource supporting a much larger personal mission. That's the hidden truth almost nobody talks about when discussing wealth and financial success in today's modern world. The 5 levels were never about reaching a specific number inside your bank account or investment portfolio. They've always been about transforming your mindset until money becomes your servant instead of remaining your lifelong master. Most people spend their entire lives trying to climb these 5 levels without ever realizing which level they're actually standing on today. That's like trying to reach the top of a mountain without knowing your current location or the safest path forward. The good news is that wealth isn't determined by where you begin, because every level follows the same predictable principles. Small, consistent decisions always outperform occasional moments of motivation that disappear as soon as life becomes uncomfortable again. Think about someone lifting weights for 1 hour every month instead of 20 minutes every single day without exception. Financial progress works exactly the same because consistency builds strength, while inconsistency keeps resetting your progress back to zero. Every wealthy person once stood exactly where millions of people stand today, facing uncertainty, fear, and difficult financial choices. The difference wasn't extraordinary intelligence, secret investments, or perfect timing that nobody else could possibly access. The difference was developing a mindset that valued long-term freedom more than short-term comfort and immediate gratification every single day. They understood that attracting capital begins by becoming the kind of person capable of managing greater financial responsibility wisely. Your habits quietly determine your future long before your bank account ever reflects the results of those daily decisions. That's why changing your financial life always begins by changing your financial identity before anything else starts improving externally. Instead of asking, "How can I become rich?" begin asking, "Who must I become to handle lasting wealth responsibly?" That simple shift changes every decision you make because your actions naturally begin matching the person you're becoming. The market rewards discipline because disciplined people remain calm when everyone else reacts emotionally to uncertainty and temporary setbacks. Every financial setback becomes a lesson instead of a permanent failure because your mindset now focuses on growth rather than fear. Remember, your current level doesn't define your future because every new habit moves you one step closer to lasting financial independence. The 5 levels aren't separated by luck or privilege, but by decisions repeated consistently over months, years, and even decades. And the next decision you make today may become the exact moment your journey toward real wealth truly begins. Now comes the question that matters more than any investment strategy, savings rate, or income goal you've ever considered before today. Which of these 5 levels describes your financial life honestly, not the version you hope other people believe is true? Many people overestimate their financial position because they confuse a high income with genuine financial security and lasting wealth. But income can disappear overnight, while real wealth continues protecting your future even during life's most difficult, unexpected challenges. Imagine two people earning exactly the same salary for the next 20 years without changing anything else about their habits. One spends every raise immediately, chasing a lifestyle that constantly demands more money just to maintain appearances. The other quietly invests every increase, allowing capital to grow while resisting the temptation to impress people who truly don't matter. 20 years later, their incomes may still look identical, yet their lives become completely different in almost every possible way. One owns expensive possessions but remains financially dependent, while the other owns assets that continue creating freedom every single year. That's why wealth is never built through income alone. It's built through intentional decisions repeated with patience and consistency. Your financial level changes the moment your behavior changes, not the moment your paycheck suddenly becomes dramatically larger than before. This is why mindset always comes before money, because money simply magnifies the habits already controlling your daily financial choices. If your habits create stability today, they'll create abundance tomorrow when greater opportunities eventually arrive in your life. If your habits create chaos today, even extraordinary income will struggle to produce lasting financial independence or genuine peace. The market doesn't care where you started, what mistakes you've made, or how many setbacks you've already experienced. It only rewards people who continue making better decisions long enough for compound growth to quietly transform their financial future. Every level of wealth begins with one choice that feels small today, but becomes life-changing after years of consistent repetition. So don't compare your journey to someone else's highlight reel, because your next financial decision matters more than their current success. The final lesson may be the most important of all, because it explains why true wealth is ultimately about far more than money. Here's the truth that almost nobody wants to hear because it sounds too simple to be powerful enough to change your financial future. You don't become wealthy because of one brilliant decision. You become wealthy because of thousands of ordinary decisions made consistently over time. Every coffee you skip won't make you rich, and every investment won't instantly change your life forever.
But every habit shapes your mindset, and your mindset quietly shapes every financial outcome you'll experience during the coming decades. Imagine steering a ship just 1 degree away from its original course while crossing an entire ocean without correcting direction. At first, the difference seems invisible, but eventually you arrive on a completely different continent than originally expected. Personal finance works exactly the same because tiny daily choices become enormous results after enough time passes without interruption. This is why the wealthiest people focus less on dramatic moves and more on building systems that repeat automatically. They automate investing, control unnecessary spending, protect their capital, and continuously improve their financial education every single year. They understand that discipline creates freedom, while emotional decisions slowly destroy even the strongest financial foundation over time. Capital is attracted to people who respect it, manage it wisely, and allow it to grow patiently without constant interference. That's why financial education remains one of the highest return investments you'll ever make throughout your entire lifetime. The market constantly changes, technology evolves, and economies rise and fall, but timeless financial principles never disappear. Spend less than you earn, invest consistently, think long-term, and protect the assets you've already worked so hard to build. Those principles may sound ordinary, yet they quietly separate financially independent people from those who remain trapped for decades. Real wealth isn't built during moments of excitement. It's built during ordinary days when nobody is watching your decisions. Every choice you make today is casting a vote for the financial future you'll eventually experience years from now. The question isn't whether you can reach the highest level of wealth, because you absolutely can with enough consistency. The real question is whether you're willing to become the person capable of staying there once you finally arrive. Take a moment and think honestly about everything we've covered together throughout this journey across the 5 hidden levels of wealth today. You may have started this video believing wealth was measured only by income, investments, or the balance inside your bank account. But now you know something most people never truly understand, even after spending decades chasing financial success without direction. Wealth is not a destination you suddenly reach one morning. It's a mindset you deliberately build one decision at a time. Every level represents a different way of thinking, spending, investing, and creating opportunities that shape your financial future forever. The beautiful part is that your current level doesn't limit where you'll eventually go if you remain patient and consistent. Remember, the market rewards preparation, discipline, and long-term thinking far more than luck, talent, or perfect timing ever will. Your mindset attracts capital because every financial decision reflects the habits and beliefs you've chosen to repeat every single day. The question is no longer whether real wealth is possible for you, because you've already seen the path that leads there. The only question remaining is whether you'll begin taking those small daily steps starting today instead of waiting another year. Imagine looking back 10 years from now, realizing that today's decision completely changed the direction of your financial future forever. That future version of yourself isn't created by one extraordinary opportunity, but by ordinary choices repeated with extraordinary consistency over time. Real wealth isn't about owning everything the world has to offer, because true freedom requires surprisingly little compared to endless consumption. It's about waking up every morning knowing your money works for you instead of constantly demanding more from your life. If this video changed the way you think about money, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you never miss future lessons. Leave a comment below telling me which of the 5 wealth levels best describes your financial life right now. I genuinely love to hear your perspective, because your story may inspire someone else to begin their own financial transformation today. Remember this one final thought. Your future is built by the financial decisions nobody sees, repeated long before anyone notices the results. Thank you for watching. Keep building your mindset, keep attracting capital, and I'll see you in the next video.